Eggshells. What is he on about today? Well, folks, there's a lot you can do with eggshells. But before that, let me welcome you to my humble off-grid homestead in the forest. I don't know if you can see the trees, but it's an overcast day today, mid-November, and a lot milder for this time of year. I would say it's going to warm up to about +7 today, which is about a good 10 degrees Celsius, milder than it would have been for this time of year. But let's go back to the eggshells. About 100 years ago or so, before there was garbage collection, where do you think people were what do you think people were doing to their garbage? Where do you think they were dumping it? If you lived in the city, and as I did, there were probably, this is in a much bigger province here in Canada, there were ravines or cliff sides or wherever that people would go and dump their unwanted empty bottles, cans, whatever. And if you lived in the country, like here, people would either do the same a little further away, because nobody wants to go so far, and then nobody really had cars or trucks. It would probably be wagons to be dragging stuff. Or they had enough land that they would designate a part of it where they would dump their garbage or unwanteds. Of course, people didn't waste as much then, but if you go back 100 years before that or 1,000 years before that, well, people used almost every bit of everything before just disintegrated. My grandma, my mom's mom, was one such person who used everything till it basically disintegrated. And I think I inherited that trait from her. But there are a lot of things that don't have to be garbage. I mean, if you can go and drive to a dump site or wherever that maybe they incinerate things, garbage, near where you live. But a landfill is what I'm talking about. If you can't see it in person, maybe look it up on your search engine with your kids. Although a lot of kids today know more about preserving and garbage and reducing garbage than most adults do. Shout out to my little nephew in California for trying to educate his parents. Eggshells have many uses. If you keep chickens, if you have chickens, and I know a lot of people that do, and they don't do this. Chickens know, hens know, when they're low in calcium. And you will know if they're low in calcium when their eggs are squishy and sort of an opaque, kind of a squishy almost. It's almost you would have a hard time picking up. It's solid and it's in one piece, but you would have a hard time picking it up. As soon as you go to grab it, you'll puncture it and it'll just be eggs all over the place. So what they do when they know they're low in calcium, they still lay those eggs, is they go and eat the shells of their own eggs because there's calcium in them, just like anything else. So, like your bones. So, what I do is crush these, and if you have chickens, you can leave them out for them. They know. You don't have to go and ask them, "Hey, chicken, are you low in calcium? Let me do a blood test they know. Don't worry about it. You just leave them a little jar, a little container there. They know when it's time. They just intuitively know. One of the other reasons to use your eggshells is I crush them. Now you can use them, crush them really fine in a form of a powder. To then you can make the sort of a composted tea. This will be a little bit stinky because there's phosphor in them, and that's not a bad thing in your water. And if you have that, you have phosphor in your hair, your nails, and like elephant tusks, rhino horns. These are all hair. And the way from my antique store days to know if something is bone or hair as in tusks or ivory or plastic that looks like one would be you would heat a tip of a needle, like a pin, and then you poke it into a part of that object, that antique that you wanted to test to see what it is exactly. And if it smelled like sulfur, then you would know that it's natural. And if it smelled like burnt plastic, like burnt like plastic bag, or elastic, then you would know that it's man-made. So sulfur in your water is not a bad thing. It makes your hair shiny, which you already, like I'm saying, you already have sulfur in your hair. And you put these crushed eggshells in a jar of water, and because it's concentrate, you don't use it just like that on your plants or whatever, and then you dilute it and you put it on whatever you want to spread it on. And that's another use. Another use is if you crush them not so fine, so they're like shards, and once you've done your garden in the spring, when you planted it, when the shoots, the little baby green tender shoots are coming up, and that's when a lot of birds or whatever like to have a go at your garden, because they're not stupid. That's when the stuff's more nutritious and tender, so they will go and have a little nibble on them. So when it could be anything, it could be slugs, whatever. So when you put these little shards of eggshells on the very top layer of your soil, they don't like to crawl over it, because it can cut, slice, whatever their soft bodies, so they don't go past it. You just have to make a little ring if you want. That's another use. Another use, these preppers know this. There may be a time one day, and I'm sure maybe they use this, people use this maybe thousands of years ago, when you make your eggshells into a fine powder, and you can take it as a calcium supplement yourself. Of course, these are times where you can't get what you need, what kind of calcium you need from a tablet or a capsule or a liquid or plant-based anything. And but you do have chickens, so you have chickens, you have eggs, and you have your calcium. What else can eggs be used for? Eggshells be used for? I mean, there are a lot. I mean, you can make it, write it on the comment below, as they say, if you have a different use. So I'm just going to show you how I crush mine and how you can crush yours. And if you have a compost, put it in your compost bin. If you don't want to do anything that I just said, just put it in your compost bin, even whole, even if you don't crush it. But ideally, I put it on this sort of a tin plate, and I leave it in my oven with the door open or on top of it, because as you know, our wood-fired cook stove is on all the time, and so it's not on high. It's just to dry it a bit. You don't want to. You're not frying it. You're not baking it. You're not cooking it. You're just drying what's inside. I rinse it and I put it like that in there, and I take it out and put it into a container that I'll show you in a minute. So I have enough. Once I have enough, then I crush them into however fine consistency that you for whatever you want to use it for. I was gonna something on camera. So anyway, I'm gonna bring the camera over so I can show you how I crush it. Alright, so you saw that part. Now you see this part. That's what I've been collecting. And how much eggs you eat, how much eggs you have will determine how big, what size of family you have. And so I'm just using a sturdier metal potato masher. And not too big, not too small. You can see about roughly how size, but it has to be fairly good construction. Not plastic. I don't think plastic would work. I try not to have plastic anything if I can help it. And so one that's sturdy enough that you're able to crush it. Can you see how much it got reduced by? This container was full when I started. Let me show you inside of it. You see the size of it? I'm still going to crush it a tiny bit more, but not a lot more, because when this is full again, I'll do it again. I'll crush it again, and I'll crush it again, and it would just get reduced and reduced and reduced till it reaches about this height. Then I'll put it into a. When I have those, I have large. Coconut oil containers that are brilliant for where I keep my screws and nails or anything once they're empty. And they're clear plastic. I think I've shown it to you. If I haven't, go see one of my it's not a recipe series, but you can see there I sometimes talk about it. These videos that you see are not sponsored, and I pay full price for whatever that I have. So, and there are no ads, so you can. This is actually good for you to watch with your kids at home. So that's about the size of them. See, not too fine, not too big. There's just shards of them. Maybe I'll just do this so we can kind of get an idea. And no smell, absolutely no smell. They don't smell like rotten eggs or anything. So if you don't want to do this, just put in your compost. If you don't have a compost bin, then hey, save them for me. I'll come and get them. Am I in there? I don't know if I can show you this and that at the same time. So, as this is as part of my near zero waste. I mean, well, this could be considered zero waste because it goes back to soil, back to nature. Yeah, this is a good example of a zero waste effort to reduce your garbage. Or I know a lot of people throw their eggshells right into the garbage container and it goes to the landfill. But I mean, look at this beautiful resource that you could just. I mean, everybody has a garden, no matter how small. And if you don't want to see a half an eggshell in there, then you can do it like this and no one will even know. And it's not ugly, is it? I don't think this is ugly. If somebody sees it, it's not dirty, it's clean. I mean, you can see it. I didn't wash this with soap. I didn't put this through a dishwasher. Will you do this? Can I challenge you? Can I challenge you? Will you do this for me? Please? Alright, well, leave them for me or drop them off at my house and I'll give you something else in return if you like, if that would make you do it. Well, anyway, that's it for now, for today. And join me. Well, I don't know what I'll be uploading I can't say. I wanted to say what I was going to upload, but I've got a bunch of videos for you now that I'll be uploading right now daily if I can, because I'm done working outside, and if I can get a quiet day inside the house and a warm enough of a day that I can be outside. I mean, I'm in my sunroom, greenhouse, enclosed solarium, whatever you want to call it, and it's a nice day, but I won't have too many days like this that I can come out and do this. So thanks for watching.